Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds in part 2 of the cards to pick up after rotation.
This time, Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, and Core Set 2021.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, reminding you that not only do we make daily content every single day, we also have a Kickstarter that is still live. It's going on for about 33 more days now, I think. Click in the description. It's for Commander gameplay. And if you want to donate to the project, even though it's funded, we're still working towards putting an anti-Nitpicking Nerds deck together and then dropping it like a nuclear bomb into a Commander game.
Those are stretch goals. I was stretching something.
Yeah, where the stretch...
Yep, and if you want to support us but not spend any extra money, TCG Player link in the description below. It's an affiliate link, so if you use that link and buy anything that you were going to buy anyway on TCG Player, we just get a kickback, and we appreciate it a ton.
Exactly. And the following cards that we think they're going to be good pickups before or right after rotation when the prices drop. We have the prices for you right now, and we think they're probably, after they drop a little, they're only going to go up.
Yeah.
So these are good pickups. Not necessarily cards that we would pick up. There's cards that are not going to go down that you should pick up anyway, but these are not those.
Yeah, this is cards to get soon because without reprints, these cards will continue to rise in price, and they probably at an all-time low right now.
Right. The first one, oh boy, Bastion of Remembrance is $2. This is an uncommon. It just came out in Ikoria, and I don't think it's going down.
This card's very good. It's whenever your creature... It's Zulaport Cutthroat, but this one's on an enchantment, and usually that wouldn't be that good. For a 3-mana enchantment to give you that effect, it's like, that seems okay. The fact that it spots you, that first body, a 1/1 human, just takes this card from like, to great.
It means, I'm in a creature deck. I can't usually cut a creature for a non-creature. This is a creature. It literally just gives you one. You don't have to worry about not having a board presence with this.
Yeah, it is 3 mana, so these effects you can usually get at 2 mana, but I think the fact that it doesn't die to the normal board wipes like you're going to see with any Zulaport Cutthroat or Blood Artist effect.
There's pros and cons to changing the type, but probably the ideal situation is mix and match.
Yeah, exactly. Bastion Remembrance, solid. For $2, definitely worth getting for your decks.
I mean, I'm always worried with the uncommons that go up at all from like 2 cents. I'm always worried about like a Pitiless Plunderer situation. I don't want this card to be $6 and nobody bought it.
Well, to be fair, this card will continue to rise. It'll get to $5, $6, $7 easily if it doesn't get reprinted. Can we predict reprints? No, we never can. So that's why we say get it just in case it doesn't.
Right. Look at Blood Artist. Look at the fact that this card's already not 2 cents, and maybe pick them up if you're looking for them.
Yeah.
Next, Bonder's Enclave, a solid little utility land. I think mostly goes in mono white or your Boros decks. But the fact that it's a land means it could slot in pretty seamlessly into any deck that can reliably have a 4-power creature or more, and it's $2.
Yeah, that's not that crazy of a power to meet. If your deck, it really fits well in decks where the commander already has 4 power.
Yeah.
It's such a huge upgrade there because your commander is always in your hand every single time. So if it has greater than 4 power, that's when you can start considering this for your deck.
Right. So don't wait too long because it is a land, it is a rare, and especially let's get this out of the way now. Ikoria cards are really weird, and they seem very difficult to reprint in general.
Yeah, I can agree with that completely.
Like referencing specific locations, the weird mechanics like mutate is never coming back, in a spot that they can replace, like the Snapdax isn't getting reprinted like ever.
Yeah. Next we have Dramath Magistrate. This is $5. This card is just solid. Just prevents players from playing the commander. I suggest getting this if you're playing higher power decks.
Or like a Stax disruptive
That's it.
type thing.
It fits in both of those things really well. Dramath Magistrate is just a nice 1/3 creature that comes out early and just disrupts stupid game plans. Like, I'm going to cast my commander 7 times this game because it's so cool. But it's like, no, it's just stuck in the command zone. You can't cast it.
Or how about like they have a 2-drop commander where like if you have a 1, 2, or 3-drop commander, that's pretty much what you're doing on that turn every time. But not if somebody plays this hunter too, and they went before you. You just can't.
Yeah, it just slows players down a lot. It's a disruptive stack piece, very annoying. And like I said, I think it's very good for super high level like competitive EDH where the commander is like it's usually the payoff for your combo.
Yeah, and I'm not going to put this in as high as what is that card? Grand Abolisher. But it's got a similar feel. That card from a set that nobody really opened. Nobody really opened Ikoria because the world ended. And then it came back after Ikoria was already pretty much old news.
Yes. So Dramath Magistrate, another solid card. Next one, I think this one might be the best price card to get. Luminous Broodmoth. This card is strong. It gives all of your creatures a second life as long as they don't have flying. And if you have any way to interact with that flying counter, you can do crazy things with this card.
I have never made this connection in my head of how to talk about this card. It is 4 mana Machias in white.
Yeah.
It says, oh, whoa, look at this crazy thing. If you can do anything with it, you go infinite.
Yeah, it's harder to interact with the Machias because -1 counters cancel out. There isn't a non-flying counter that cancels out our flying counter here, unfortunately.
It's harder to cheat, but you can easily say creatures don't enter with counters. And then you, boom, easy.
But also, this one is the second life of your creature is, one, this is only 4 mana.
Right.
Its body is more relevant because it's flying, so it can sneak through, chip for things like the Monarchy, and the creatures come back with not a +1 counter, which is okay. Flying is a huge buff compared to a +1/+1 counter.
Evasion.
Yes. Now your Wormcoil engine that just died is now evasively flying Death Touch. Okay, that seems good.
And you get 2 extras.
Yeah. Why? I mean, is that good?
That was so good. I love that random example you pulled out of your hat.
Well, we've literally seen that interaction in paper. That's
It
why.
wasn't good for me, the opponent. Fiend Artisan's next. This feels like a card they could potentially reprint because it has nothing to do with anything. This is like the most obvious booster fodder, like powerful mythic that actually didn't even end up seeing play anywhere. But it's $6 because it's so good in Commander. The fact that it's so toolboxy and it's a mythic just makes me want to, if I'm thinking of needing it, just scoop it up now. Don't worry about it, that it'll go up to like $18 if something happens.
Yeah, I think this card is very good. It's essentially a variant of a Birthing Pod type effect. It doesn't have haste, but it's only 2 mana to get out on the battlefield. And not only can you turn any creature, even a token, into whatever you want by basically paying 1 extra mana for whatever creature you want.
And I also like that this just is a 2 mana 6/6.
Yeah.
Right? Like if your deck cares about the graveyard, it can be powered up, and there's a bunch of different cards that care about the power of your creature. You know, this makes your Great Henges better. This makes your Gerard Lich Lords better. There's a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, it really speaks to the power of Standard that this card saw no play.
We looked at it when Ikoria came out. We're like, oh, here's the lame mythic that doesn't fit in with the set that's going to see a bunch of play. It saw literally no play because it turns out Companions were broken and Throne of Eldraine was broken. So
yeah, Throne of Eldraine was completely busted. Next, we have the Triumphs. They range from $7 on the low end to currently $13. None of these are too crazy expensive, but they fit in so many decks. Your 3-color decks, if your 3-color happen to be one of these, the wedges, not the shards, then yeah, get these for your 3-color decks. And for 4-color decks, great fetch targets.
These are all locations, and they are 3 land type named duels. I don't know where these are ever going to get reprinted. They already said apparently they don't want to print them in Commander Precons, or else we would have seen a couple by now, I think. We've actively tried to pick up some of these, and I still feel like a sucker. They were so low. And you're going to be saying that again in a year and a half when they're all 25, and you're like, what? It doesn't feel like it's worth it to get them.
Yeah, you're going to have to come back to Ikoria to reprint these? That seems super annoying, though I guess you would say that for Shocklands, too. You'd be like, what? You have to go back to, in order to reprint Shocklands, you got to go with Rap, and then we just keep going back to
Well, they could just do a secret lair.
That's true. They can also do that. Yeah, these have awesome printings. If you like the comic book art that they did for Ikoria, get those.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like that?
They are really cool, and I just think Triumphs are such a solid Commander card and great fetch targets that if you don't get them now, you're just gonna end up regretting it in a year or two.
Yeah, it might be like a tiny bit of a feel bad. Oh, $13 when it was $4. Don't do sunk cost fallacy because then you're gonna be sitting in the same spot a year and a half from now going $20. Ugh.
Yeah. Next is Reconnaissance Missions. I want to say one thing about Reconnaissance Mission. This card is 50 cents. It is very good. And if it's sitting at 50 cents, then it's not being played enough. This card is very good. The fact that you get the Bide and Athasa effect, which is already very strong, and now it cycles when it's worthless, that's the weakest part of the Bide and Athasa effect, is when you don't have creatures, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, my Coastal Piracy, I don't have creatures. Okay, it's not Coastal Piracy. It's the next card in your deck.
Exactly. I like Reconnaissance Mission a lot. Honestly, I have it in a few decks, and I love it.
I think this is one where if you're kind of like a speculative person, I would say if you're thinking about playing this card, don't buy 1 next time you buy it, buy 4.
Yeah.
Just because I think you won't regret it, and the cost is like nothing.
Yeah, this card is very good. Definitely worth the 50 cents. Lastly, for Ikoria Lair of the Behemoths, we have Ruinous Ultimatum. This is currently $3. Now, this one's probably $3 because, it's only a Mardu card. You have to be playing exactly Mardu or some 4 or 5 color variant of Mardu.
Right, so it's not higher because it's so restrictive. But once you're in Mardu, I think this is like a windmill slam staple, as long as your deck isn't some weird Eldrazi thing.
Oh, 110%. The fact is, 7 mana, not just Plague Wind. Plague Wind for their whole board.
Yeah, it's better than Cyclonic Rift, if you can cast it.
It's Plague Wind. It's a planar cleansing Plague Wind.
Right.
Which I guess we don't even... I guess we'll call that Ruinous Ultimatum, because we don't have a name for it yet.
Right.
So you get a Ruinous Ultimatum effect.
For just 7 mana.
For just 7 mana, which is...
The least we've ever seen for that effect.
I mean, it's the least we've ever seen, and the only way we've ever seen it, right? I don't think there has been another one like that.
Obviously, Cyclonic Rift is a better card, but I'm talking about upon resolution, I'd rather take it Ruinous Ultimatum. Bye. Go away forever.
Yeah, exactly. This card is hard to cast, but if your deck can cast it, you should have it in there, and you should get it at $3, because, I mean, EDH players are just going to keep buying these up. They're going to start disappearing from the market, because every Mardu deck wants this card.
Yeah, and how are you supposed to fix for it? Oh, fetch for your Triumphs.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
And the last set we're going to talk about, Core Set 2021. Why is it not just M21 like it used to be? I don't know, honestly.
Maybe they foresaw like some 30 years down the line. They're like, we can't have M51. That would conflict with this other set that's going to be called M51. So they changed it to Core Set. But the first one we got to talk about, Azuza, Lost But Seeking. I'm actually surprised this card isn't higher already. This was sitting at like, what, $40, $30 before the reprint, and now it's $7. And I think that's part of because it sees Modern play. I think it's only going to go up.
Yep, this is a solid. If you have a Lands Matters deck, this is just one of the first 7 cards you throw in the deck. You're like, all right, you need to play extra lands. What's the best way to do that? Well, Azuza, Lost But Seeking.
Not even close. It's 2 extra lands every turn is unparalleled, literally, in Magic.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that give you 1 extra land drop, 2 extra land drop. Is there another card that does that?
Not permanently.
I can't even.
Like Somerville will give you 3, but that's for the turn.
Yeah. So Azuza, the only way, at least that we can think of, to get 2 extra land drops in the turn. Next is a card.
I'll let you go off on this one.
Next is a card I really think this card is very strong, and I think it is underrated, and I give credit to Moses for introducing me to this card. It's Brash Hunter. $2. It is a 1-mana 1/1 that is indestructible.
It's a 5-mana 1/1.
It's a 5-mana 1/1. Sorry. If it was a 1-mana 1/1.
Huge distinction.
Huge distinction. It's a 5-mana 1/1 that pay 3 mana tap to fight. This card literally turns attackers off on you. I mean, it does the Ghostly Prison's job about 100 times better. This card, if somebody attacks you, their biggest creature doesn't have trample, you block their biggest creature, and then they take that much damage. Yep. Or the other player, you can make deals with this. You can say, come on, send your 12/12 this way. I'll block, and I'll send the damage at player C.
Yeah, and it's just so much. I've seen it in play. It's a lot of value for you. Your opponents are going to have to jump through at least 1 or 2 hoops to answer it because it's indestructible. You know, you can Toxic Deluge or Swords it. Those are the best cards in the format, though, and dies to removal. Not really a valid argument, and this doesn't even die to most removal.
It does die. I mean, it does die to removal. Everything dies to removal.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's not, like, super valid, and this has twice as much evasion as any creature ever for removal.
And I always think, like, when I play this card, when am I ever going to activate it? Every turn. Because it turns out, if I can just pay 3 mana to do, like...
7 damage.
It's between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
It's 5 and 10 almost every single time. I'm in to pay 3 mana to deal 5 to 10 damage, and I don't have to advance my board state too much, and I can just keep chipping my opponents away. Card overperforms every single time I play it, and I strongly suggest getting them for $2.
Right. Plus, it survives most board wipes anyway, and some board wipes you really don't want to cast when this thing's out.
I mean,
or you really do if you're the controller.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're the opponent, I'm not gonna play this Blasphemous Act.
Yeah, that Blasphemous Act is just gonna deal 13 damage. This card, incredibly strong. What's next?
How about Vito, Pizza Man, Thorn of the Dusk Rose? He's sitting at $4. This was like a 20-cent rare when he debuted, and it's. I look at Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond, and I think those cards are like just the poopiest bulk rare in my head because A, you never wanted to open them at the time, and B, I don't even think they're really that good in Commander, but they are part of combos, and you can see the difference of Sanguine Bond used to be, I think it was like $20, but then it got reprinted into the dirt, and they decided, let's never reprint Exquisite Blood, and it's like, what is it, like $50?
I also think Vito filling in the role of, Vito and other cards that they've printed, filling in the role of Sanguine Bond for much cheaper and much more effective cards, really has just kind of shut off and gotten rid of all of that nonsense. Vito is so good. He takes that role and he puts it to a card that not only is like is that role, it also has an ability that like gives your whole team lifelink.
It's the enabler and the payoff.
Yeah, he does both together, and this isn't broken. This isn't busted. It's just very good.
Just really solid. If you're just never going to be hurting for life, even if your deck's not a dedicated life gain deck. because you can just throw lifelink on your creatures and gain 15 life, send your creatures in somewhere.
Yeah, a huge fan of Veto Dusk for any life gain deck at all.
This is your classic $8 card in like a year.
I mean, easily. Next is probably literally the best card from Core 21 for
Not
the
close.
set. Is Teferi, Master of Time, $8. This card is game winning.
This is highway robbery. $8 for the. I think this is, if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 planeswalkers in the format. It wins games. It steals games by itself in like a turn and a half, literally. How is this only $8? Like, I would, if I had more money, I would just buy like tons and tons of these.
And one of the main things that Teferi does so well is he is one of the most insane things to follow up a board wipe with.
Oh,
It's just so good. I mean, I don't like. Obviously, the weakness of Planeswalkers is playing them out when the board is filled. He doesn't protect himself well. That's definitely true. He struggles if the board is filled. But if you ever get him out and there's 1 or 2 threats or no threats, all of a sudden he's racing toward that ult that's going to get you 2 turns.
time stretch. It's time stretch. I think this is a blue staple. And the fact that it's $8 means I think everyone should buy one.
You should. And there's about 85 different variants, so get the one you like.
Yeah, the one of them is like distinctly cheaper, I think. I think that's like the $8 one, and then there's like a $9 one or an $11 one. So don't get scammed if you don't care. But buy the cheapest one because it's $8. This card is absurd. It's so good. I think we're like one of the only channels that even talks about it.
I mean, it's fantastic. This card is an EDH, like you said, blue staple.
I think it's literally a blue staple.
Yeah. Up next, we have Sublime Epiphany, $3. This is an expensive mana cost-wise card. But its effect is so cool, big, and splashy. It's one of those cards that if you ask me how good it really is, it's just okay. But the cool, big, splashy effect means that this card is going to have a price tag of $10 in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things about this card. It was very like infamous when it debuted because it was the biggest blowout like in limited, and then people translated it to like, oh, let's see what I can do in constructed, and let me see what it does in my commander deck. And there are some really specific roles it fills in commander, and you know those cards can go up if the card or the set is overlooked like M21 kind of was, because who really cared about that set? Sublime Epiphany makes token copies. That's the best thing it does. So like your Brutaclad decks or like your any deck with like Torrential Gearhulk Snapcaster Mage where you can just keep doing it. You're like, all right, make one, token enters, make one, token enters, make one, and just keep going.
I just love all the situations that this is good in. There's like a million different ones. Bouncing something that you need off the battlefield, making a token off of that. Like you can just, it's so many situations. Sometimes you get all 5 modes.
Yeah, sometimes
4 modes.
you actually get
modes.
the full disallow. That's like the worst mode, but it is a playable card with the stifle text on it.
Well, sometimes you get counter a spell, but also counter the ability that triggered off that spell.
Yeah.
And also copy my creature. And also bounce that permanent. And also draw a card.
Right, like, oh shoot, they played Vorinclex and they just so happen to have Beast Whisper. Well, you're not even going to draw a card.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get, sometimes you get all the modes and you're like, yes.
You feel like an evil genius.
It's like, I mean, when you get all the modes, you literally feel like you've cheated. Like, oh, I stole this.
It's probably one of the splashiest instants in our cube, right?
Yeah, the card is super cool. I love Sublime Epiphany. Huge fan.
Yeah, Menger the Diplomat is the last card. He's all the way up to $10 already. So when the set kind of phases out and nobody's trying to do standard jank, maybe he'll dip to an all-time low. He's probably close to the all-time low right now, seeing as he's going up.
Yeah, I mean, Menger the Diplomat is just a very strong Magic card overall. He's $10, and he, again, this is one of those cards that overperforms. Turns out players can't avoid double spelling. They can avoid attacking you with 2 creatures.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Sure, that's easy. You can't avoid double spelling. It turns out if you're not double spelling, you're not winning Commander.
Yes, something I've noticed with this card, it is really good with the Monarchy. You just take it, and they say, can I ping for 1? No, but you can attack me with 2 creatures for the Monarchy, for sure. And most of the time, they're either going to say, okay, and then you get your card, and you trade off the Monarchy. Or they say no, and they force through an attack, which draws you a card anyway, because you can't not trigger that.
Yeah, exactly. Menger the Diplomat, definitely, it was pushed, and seems like it was a card where they're trying to make white actually have some card draw, and they were successful.
And it's not in the dumb staple way either. Like, oh, Smothering Tides goes in every white deck. This doesn't go in every white deck. It's just a card.
Yeah, this card and Menger the Diplomat and Esper Sentinel feel like the right way to do white card draw.
Spot on. I want more.
Yes, but that is our video. Special shout outs to every single one of our patrons. Love you guys all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable, because obviously we would never want to make you uncomfortable.
That was really weird.
Why?
The first thing I thought of was in the background of you, but maybe we'll drop a mixtape later. You can go to the TCG Player link and drop your dollars through the link. Go to the cart after you click, and then TCG Player says, "Wow, you decided to finalize your order with the Nitpicking Nerds, thanks so much. We're going to give them free money. You don't even have to. We're going to do it for you. How would anyone not take advantage of that?
You literally don't spend any extra money. You just click through the link, and we get extra support, and we appreciate it an unbelievable amount.
How do you feel about Kickstarter projects that are already funded?
Our Kickstarter project is currently reached its funding goal, but we have stretch goals. Stretch goals mean there are things that you can get us to even more. First things first, the anti-nitpicking nerds deck. So get in on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of overpriced, terrible staples in that deck we're going to have to buy. So get in the extra funding, dropping that in, improving the quality of the other gameplay episodes.
Honestly, so I'm thinking, and like overall, a lot of the cards we don't like and that would be in the deck are just pricey for no reason. Like
Grave Titan.
Like Grave Titan, we don't own.
It's like $12.
We don't own a Grave Titan, so we gotta spend $12 on that. Zendikar Resurgent, I think it's up to $7 or $8.
So I will clarify, maybe for the tidbit here, as a segue, we don't own a Grave Titan, but we have owned probably about 25 Grave Titans for fleeting moments as we send them out to people.
I guess, to be fair, we own one Grave Titan.
We own one Secret Lair foil. It's in the cube. 50% for a meme, 50% because it's actually good.
No, to be fair, we've cultivated the cube to be an Attacks Matters format.
Right, it's actually good.
We've said it all the time, in an actual Attacks Matters format, yeah, Grave Titan's actually pretty decent.
Right, so when we build the format where it's decent, it is decent.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm super excited for whatever episode of the gameplay Shuffle Scuffle we do where we play the cube. Ugh, that'd be so sweet.
I was just going to say, there's something I want to announce. We're close enough, and we have to do it soon anyway.
Oh.
50K subs video.
Oh, yeah.
We have to shout it out, and I want to get it out there for people. We're going to go get a P.O. box probably literally tomorrow.
Oh, man.
We're going to get a P.O. box, and then every single video at the end, we'll mention it so that you guys know that this is coming. And I actually thought of a way to make it a little better. So what we're going to do for this video, our 50K special, is we're going to allow you to send us anything that is safe for work.
Legal and safe for work.
Legal and safe for work. We don't want to deal with no sex toys. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. That won't make the video. We'll cut that out immediately.
And we'll be mad at you.
All of the packages should be sealed, and we shouldn't be able to know what's in them. We're going to open them for video, and our reactions will be legit. And I think it's fair. We don't expect anything. You have no obligation to send us anything, and we don't even necessarily want anything.
Right, but if you feel like it, this is the spot to do it. If you want to send us something, it doesn't have to be worth anything. It could be a little drawing you did. It doesn't have to be. It can be monetarily crazy.
It can be a screw. If you want to send us a screw, send us a screw.
Right. Screw you, nitpicking nerds.
But actually, one thing I want to say is, if you send a package, you can send one question and we'll answer it. Again, safe for work.
Right. So that'll be this nice little thing. Just interacting with the community, not directly, but indirectly with awesome, cool little props.
It's a little bit away. It's 10K subs away, but we're going to have a P.O. box soon, and we'll put the P.O. box in the description so that anybody that wants to send anything can send it. Remember, I'm not putting any caveats on it other than safe for work. Don't be inappropriate. Don't be raunchy. Come on.
I guess don't mail us a TV or anything because I can't really unbox that.
That's true, and also it'd be weird. Be like, all right,
what is it?
What could it possibly? It's just like
Panasonic, huh?
It reminds me of a cartoon where it's in the shape of a bicycle.
The wrapping paper is I hope it's a puppy.
No, it's or even when it's in the shape of a bicycle and they unwrap it and is a puppy for some reason.
That one reminds me of the
Don't send us a puppy.
Eldritch Moon, where there was the meme of the gift wrap in the shape of Emrakul. It's what could it be? What's causing all the problems?
I say don't send us a puppy, but if you can get us a puppy live, I would. I don't know. I can't not take that.
We wouldn't accept it. We would probably love it forever.
I know. If someone gave us a dog and then walked away, we'd be like, well, we can't get rid of it.
Only if it was cute.
They're always cute when they're puppies.
Yeah, some puppies aren't cute.
I've never seen an actual puppy.
And if it grows into a dog that I know is not going to be cute, it's like the puppy isn't cute already.
Puppies are so cute. Peace out, Tribe Scout.